It's one apiece in this three-match series. Let's now look ahead to the third one-day international, which will be played in MS Dhoni's den. Yes, we're heading to Chennai now for the third one-day international. Australia have stormed back into the series after losing the first ODI by 5 wickets. Let's talk about India first. Looking back at the second ODI, did they get their selection wrong? Is that even a fair question to ask, given the result that we've seen?
I don't think. I mean, if you ask them before the start of the game, they would say that, we are one up in the series, we're prepared for the series, we know the conditions, and hence we are making these kind of changes. Okay, so Shardul goes out. The Shardul call was a conscious call which was made keeping Wankhede conditions in mind. So now we're going to Vizag. We were also anticipating on those lines, right?
Yep.
That, there will be some assistance in the pitch. Spinner might be handy. So that is the kind of tactical discussions, they must have had. And I don't think there is anything wrong in that. Either the real question is that how do you tackle Mitchell Starc's form?
So how do you tackle Mitchell Starc?
Well, you just approach it like a test match. You just have to make sure that, like I was mentioning in the mid show as well, you got to put that responsibility on the top 3 batters. It's his top 3 batters' responsibility to make sure that 10, 12 overs you find a way. It's about finding ways which we often talk about. It's about absorbing pressure. It's about coming up with solutions. So you, within your technique, figure that out. I know that the time is less, but that's how it goes. So you got to come up with answers. The bowler is in form. His tail is up. He's going to throw everything at you. Today's game, we were talking about how smart he was in terms of using the angles. The balls going across to the right-handers. He mixed it well. And that really worked as an advantage for him. Now, what is next for him? How the Chennai pitch is going to play. How you can find that way which will just put you in that slight comfortable position. Losing wickets has been the issue. First 10 overs, you're losing 3 or 4 wickets. That's never going to help your cause. So how do you find the answers to not be in that situation? Is going to be the key for Indian team. It's not about looking at the personnels or changing anything in that team. It's about understanding the conditions. Chennai, what it brings. You might have that extra spinner which you already have made that change.
Yep.
So I don't see that they're going to look for any changes in the playing 11. But they certainly need to do things around how to plan the batting innings, and that has been the top discussion.
Let's ask the Chennai about how the conditions are likely to be on that pitch, and if that calls for any further changes. 3 spinners already in this match.
I'll be looking at Washington Sundar because he has the potential to bowl, to head. He's got a good matchup. He's somebody who enjoys bowling in power play. It's his home ground. You'd have played a lot here. So the only change that I can think of is, should we bring in a Washington Sundar so that he can bowl in the power play? Because the one thing for sure that you will not get in Chennai is the kind of movement off the pitch that we have seen in these 2 matches. That won't be there. Swing will be much lesser. It's an afternoon game. So playing Mitchell Starc will be considerably easier. You still got the skill set, but I think it'll be considerably easier. From India's point of view, our power play bowling in both innings, last game they were 120 for 2. This game they're 120 for no loss. So they have to look at how they're going to attack the top order. And that is where I feel they should look at Washington Sundar. He's somebody who enjoys bowling in the power play. He has a left-hander as a matchup with Travis Head, and the fact that he's bowled to quite a few right-handers in the power play. He's somebody who enjoys bowling in the power play. That is the only change that they'll be looking at seriously.
Sundar for Kuldeep?
Akshar Patel.
Akshar Patel, all right. Okay, Umran Malik, some are saying, why don't you add a bit of spice to this bowling lineup? Because the pace bowlers haven't really been up to the mark in the first 2 matches. Would you give him a go in this third match?
Well, you look at the first match score. You got the team all out for 188. Today, you didn't have a chance of making any impact because your batters didn't really step up and got you to that platform. So I think it's all about providing that kind of platform. I wouldn't go too much looking into what bowlers have done wrong. I think they've played their part for the first match. Yes, tactically, condition-wise, or if it's a forced change, it's a separate story.
Yep.
But just on the analysis of cricket or analysis of the games in the last 2 games, what has happened, clearly you know where the issue is. The issue is first 10 overs with the bat in hand. What are you doing? You're not really setting that platform for your middle order to encash. So how Mitchell Starc has done that impact with the new ball, which is providing that platform for the next bowlers to come and continue with that pressure. The pressure is already formed. So similarly, when you're losing wickets, the pressure is already formed on the next batter to come to deal with the best bowler. how can you negate that? How can you avoid that kind of a situation is going to be the challenge. And all the answers right now in the series is lying with the batters, and they need to regroup, they need to come with solutions, they need to plan, and if you're able to do that, provide that platform and come to that total, then your bowlers will step up to the occasion.
The Aussie batsmen have had a pretty good time as well, especially at the start of the innings, and that makes perhaps David Warner think, oh my God, now what? Even if I'm fit, the third ODI, what does Andrew McDonald do? What does Steve Smith do with me? What would you do if he's fit?
I personally will think, where do I fit in Marsh? I think Head and Warner would be my nominated openers. Do I fit in Marsh at 3 and send Steven Smith at 4? Then I'd be letting go of Marnus Labuschagne. In the recent past, he's also done decently well. Or will I just let go of a Mitchell Marsh and just hold on to a Marnus Labuschagne? That's the only decision, because David Warner is irreplaceable in that batting order. He's solid. He's done very well in the recent past. Along with Head, he's got great scores. So I would go with the Head and Warner combination. But the key point is he going to be fit? I think when you look at him, he doesn't want to force himself to play the game. He also knows that there's a big tournament coming in and there's a lot of cricket post that 5 Ashes Test matches and 1 World Test Championship final. He doesn't want to unnecessarily push himself more than he should to get his finger ready. I think you get the feeling that with the fact that Australia have done well, he's also aware that Mitchell Marsh and Head has done well, and he will definitely be part of the team in the future. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he doesn't play the next game.
Stark, Abbott and Nathan Ellis have done well. Is there a case somehow to get Ashton Agar in for Chennai?
Ashton Agar is a good chance that he can get in. You have to feel there'll be a toss-up between Abbott and Ellis, but they've preferred Abbott in the first game. You get the feeling that Abbott will hold on to his place and Ashton Agar will get in a look in. In Chennai, there's a great chance that they'll need 2 spinners, especially if Maxwell isn't playing.